Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nanudvesti Kalim Samrat Saranga Eva Sara Bhu Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti Netadhani Kitani Ya Nanudvesti Kalim Samrat Sarangahiva Sarabhuk Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti Netarhani Kritani Yat. Never. Anudvesti, envious. Kalim, unto the personality of Kali. Samrat, the emperor. Saramgaha, realist like the bees. Eva, like. Sarabhuk, one who accepts the substance. Kushalani, auspicious objects. Ashu, immediately. Siddhyanti, become successful. Na, never. Itarani, which are auspicious. Kritani, being performed. Yat, as much as. Maharaj Pariksit was a realist like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in an awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given some special facilities to them. So by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. In other ages, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become a victim of the act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious acts simply by thinking of them. Maharaj Pariksit, being the most learned and experienced king, by the grace of the Lord, was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali, because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. He protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali, and at the same time he gave full facility to the age of Kali by allotting him some particular places. At the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that even though all the nefarious activities of the personality of Kali are present, there is a great advantage in the age of Kali. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Thus, Maharaj Pariksit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizens from the clutches of Kali. It is for this advantage only that great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In the Vedas also it is said that by discourse on Lord Krishna's activities, one can get rid of all the disadvantages of the age of Kali. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said that by the recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. These are some of the great advantages of the age of Kali, and Maharaj Pariksit took the advantages and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to the Vaishnavite cult. Om Abhyanatamidandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chaksulamilitam Jaina Tasmai Sigarave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Shtapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Tsapandantika. So this purport and verse, very nice. Srila Prabhupada has expertly made this verse very clear to us. The first point is that Maharaj Pariksit is herein being compared to a bee. The bumblebee is very intelligent, because the bumblebee knows how to take the most essential thing from the flower, namely the pollen or nectar. And in the same way, a swan is also very expert, because a swan knows how to take the milk from the mixture of milk and water. So, Paramahansa, or the topmost swan-like person like Maharaj Pariksit, is compared to be like a bee, because he knows what is the essence of life, namely devotional service to Krishna. Now, Maharaj Pariksit here is doing a very interesting thing, because he's dealing with an enemy. The enemy is the personality of Kali, who is bringing in all kinds of sinful acts into this age. So, we can take some interesting advice here from the behavior of Maharaj Pariksit. Notice what he has done with his enemy. He did not throw his enemy out. He did not reject his enemy. He said, yes, you can stay here, because his enemy surrendered to him. The Kali, personality of Kali took shelter of Maharaj Pariksit. So, as a good king and Vaishnava, he said, all right, you are taking shelter of me, I cannot reject you. However, you can live in my kingdom under the following conditions. So similarly, if you deal with an enemy, Prabhupada said the best thing to do with an enemy is to keep him in your house, because then you can keep your eye on him all the time. But you have to be very intelligent and expert like Maharaj Pariksit. Maharaj Parikshit's expertise is that he said you can live wherever there's gambling, wherever there's intoxication, wherever there's meat eating, wherever there's animal slaughter. And then what did Maharaj Pariksit do? He went all over the kingdom making sure there was no gambling, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no illicit sex. In other words, he was so powerful that he did not deny Kali his place. At the same time, he did not give any facility for Kali to introduce sinful activity. So this is the power of the pure Vaishnava king, Maharaj Pariksit. And at the same time, neither was he very much envious or angry with the personality of Kali. Why? Because he saw that by the presence of Kali, there was going to be some special advantage to the citizens. Namely, that since Kali would introduce all kinds of inauspiciousness, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya Hupadritaha, because Kali was going to introduce all kinds of difficult situations, there would be a special dispensation, a special advantage introduced in this age. What is that advantage? That in this age, the people would not get any bad reactions for their thoughts, but any good thoughts would immediately be effective. In the past yugas, even someone thought the wrong thing, they got the reaction. Now, unless you perform the sinful act, you don't get a reaction. This does not mean, however, that you can let your mind think sinfully, because every action that you perform is first of all preceded by thinking, feeling, and willing. So if you think the wrong thoughts, it is a good chance that sooner or later you're going to commit the sinful act. Therefore, Man manabhava mad bhakto mad yajimam namashkuru. Krishna says always engage your mind in thinking of me. We have to make sure that our minds are purified. Purified mind means by purified association, by purified eating of transcendental foodstuffs, by purified activities. The mind will be able to easily remember Krishna. And even in the mind, if you remember Krishna, you get the benefit of serving Krishna. The perfect example is the Brahmin from South India, quoted in Nectar of Devotion, who was cooking for the Lord. You remember the picture in Nectar of Devotion? He put his finger, what did he put his finger in, Jambaman? What kind of food was that? Sweet rice, right. He put his finger in the sweet rice, and then, even though he was cooking the sweet rice only in his mind, he had not actually cooked it. He was just doing it in his mind, the service to God. But because it is so effective, even thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna in the mind is so effective, when he put his finger in, it was burnt. So, this proves that even if for some reason if you are not fit to do any service, physically, even you think of serving Krishna, you get the benefit. However, in this Kali-yuga, you will get no reaction if there is some bad thought. So, there's another advantage of Kali-yuga, that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, the Maha Mantra, all the advantages of the past yugas, from yoga, from yajna, and from puja, from temple worship, all of these benefits come for one who chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in Kali-yuga. So, Harinam Avatar, this is the Yuga Dharma, chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And as Prabhupada says, in the beginning of the Bhagavatam also, simply by recitation of the Bhagavatam, one gets advanced. These are the two main activities for us, chanting Hare Krishna and hearing and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. All of our time should be spent in these activities as far as possible. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, simply by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned here, Krishna becomes arrested in the heart. Just like if someone is doing something they get not right, they get arrested by the government, right? And when they get handcuffs on, can they go anywhere? No. So, when you hear and chant Krishna's name and Srimad Bhagavatam, it's like putting handcuffs on Krishna. Of course, handcuffs made of flowers. If Krishna wants, he can break them, but he doesn't want, because the flower handcuffs are put on by his devotees. That means when you chant Krishna's name, Krishna will not go away. It's like capturing Krishna in your heart. So, although God cannot be conquered by anyone, because He is the most powerful, He agrees to be conquered by who? His devotees. When someone has pure love for God, he becomes their servant. This religion, Krishna consciousness, is so nice that every other religion in the world, they're trying to become the servant of God, and in this religion, God becomes the servant of the devotee. Because the process of Krishna consciousness is so powerful that it can make Krishna conquered. Although God, what is the name for one who is unconquerable? Ajita. Yeah, not Achyuta. Someone said Achyuta? No. No, Ajita. Ajita means the unconquerable Lord. So although God is unconquerable, He can become conquered by our love and devotion. So these are some of the nice points which are brought out in this purport, and we have covered it. Now we'll stop here and ask if there are any questions. What is that that your desire is not strong enough? But because of the benefit of having thought the right thing, gradually by thinking in the right way, the desire will increase to the point of action. So go on thinking in the right way, that thinking will lead to proper action. Because in this age, thinking is effective. Maharaj Pariksit cannot be influenced by Kali. That was directly the influence of the Lord in order to glorify Maharaj Pariksit by allowing him to hear Srimad Bhagavatam perfectly. However, it was the influence of Kali on the Brahmin's son. Maharaj Pariksit cannot be influenced by Kali. He's Krishna's pure devotee. Yes, therefore it was not by Kali, it was by Krishna. You're right. What you're saying is right. But the only explanation is that since he was a perfect devotee, he could not do anything wrong. Therefore, the only way he could do something wrong is if Krishna willed it. You understand? He cannot be influenced by Maya. Pure devotee can never be influenced by Maya, only by Krishna. Another question? So, everybody who did their Ekadasi, Vrat, I'm sure is feeling transcendentally benefited. But you should always be very humble when doing austerities by remembering the examples of personalities like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Param Guru, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he used to do every day chanting 192 rounds. He took a vow to chant 1 billion names of Krishna. And every day he chanted 3 times 64 rounds for many, many years. And the only thing he ate was some rice cooked in a pot. He used to chant all day and all night. And even when it rained and his house started to crumble, he simply put an umbrella up in his house. He didn't even take time to repair the house. He was living in a little hut. So if you think that you're austere because you chanted 64 rounds or whatever, and you fasted, just remember the example of Bhaktisiddhanta. That will make you very humble. You will realize that we are very insignificant compared to the previous acharyas. Just like Prabhupada said about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur could deliver the entire planet. And practically every Vaishnava acharya, including Prabhupada, could deliver the whole planet. But Prabhupada said they are very kind and they leave some service for us to do. Otherwise, individually, they're strong enough to deliver the whole planet. So we are simply very insignificant servants of these great previous acharyas. We should always see ourselves like that. That we are the servants of the previous acharyas. Menial servants. They don't really need us, but it is their kindness that they keep us around, because they know how much we need them. So we are very fallen and poor and meek and weak, and therefore, out of compassion for us, they keep us around the house to do some small service. This should be the mood and mentality of all of us on meditating on what our real position is. So we're going to chant, we can chant 1 or 2 rounds before greeting the deities. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.